Picture this. A single aircraft costs more than a small nation's entire military budget, can evade every radar system on Earth, and carries enough firepower to level an entire city. Yet nobody sees it coming. The B-2 Spirit stealth bomber didn't just change warfare, it made conventional defense systems obsolete overnight. At $2.2 billion per aircraft, the B-2 Spirit is the most expensive military plane ever built. Only 21 were ever produced. But here's the terrifying part. In actual combat, it achieved a 100% mission success rate while remaining completely invisible to enemy radar. In the next 10 minutes, you'll discover why military experts call this aircraft the most revolutionary weapon system since the atomic bomb, how it operates with technology so classified that even pilots don't know everything it can do, and the shocking reason why the US military is already retiring it despite its unmatched capabilities. But first, let me show you just how insane this aircraft really is. The ghost that defied physics. Most people think stealth means small. Wrong. The B-2 Spirit has a 172-foot wingspan, longer than half a football field. It weighs 160,000 pounds when empty, yet on radar screens, it appears smaller than a hummingbird. Let that sink in. An aircraft the size of a commercial airliner becomes electronically invisible. Here's how they pulled off this impossibility. The B-2's entire design violates everything we thought we knew about aircraft construction. No vertical tail fins, no traditional fuselage, just a smooth, seamless flying wing that deflects radar waves like water off a windshield. But the engineering gets even crazier. The aircraft's surface is coated with radar-absorbent material that costs more per square inch than solid gold. The 4 engines producing 77,000 pounds of thrust each are completely embedded inside the wing structure. You can barely see them from any angle. Even the engine exhaust is cooled and dispersed to minimize infrared signature. And here's where it gets personal. Northrop Grumman designed this aircraft in the 1980s, before smartphones, before the internet, before GPS was publicly available. Engineers used slide rules and early computer systems to create an aircraft that remains technologically superior to anything else flying today. The B-2 Spirit first flew in 1989. 36 years later, no nation on Earth has successfully built anything comparable. But you're probably wondering, how does something this expensive actually perform in real combat? The answer involves a mission so secretive that the Pentagon didn't declassify the details for over a decade. When stealth became unstoppable, March 24th, 1999. NATO forces prepared to strike Serbian military targets during the Kosovo War. Every previous bombing campaign had suffered casualties from surface-to-air missiles, but this mission was different. 2 B-2 Spirit bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, flew 30 hours non-stop across the Atlantic, dropped precision-guided munitions on heavily defended targets, and returned home without a single Serbian radar system detecting them. 0 losses, 0 damage. 100% mission success. This wasn't luck. This was battlefield superiority through technological dominance. The B-2 carries up to 40,000 pounds of ordnance in 2 internal bomb bays. That's 16 500-pound GPS-guided JDAM bombs, or up to 16 2,400-pound B-83 nuclear weapons, each with 75 times the destructive power of the Hiroshima bomb. But here's what makes the B-2 truly unstoppable. Conventional bombers must fly around enemy air defenses. The B-2 flies straight through them. During the opening hours of Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, B-2 bombers struck Taliban positions before enemy forces even knew American aircraft were overhead. In the 2003 Iraq invasion, B-2s destroyed hardened bunkers that no other aircraft could touch. Every mission, complete success. Every aircraft returned undamaged. Micro cliffhanger. But this invincibility created an unexpected problem that would eventually doom the entire program. When Congress first approved the B-2 program in 1981, Northrop Grumman promised to deliver 132 aircraft at $450 million each. The final tally? 21 aircraft at $2.2 billion per plane. That's not a typo. Each B-2 Spirit costs more than an aircraft carrier. Here's why. The B-2 uses materials and construction techniques that simply don't exist anywhere else in aviation. The carbon graphite composite structure must be manufactured in climate-controlled facilities. The radar-absorbent coating degrades when exposed to rain, every single time a B-2 flies through moisture. Technicians must reapply sections of the coating by hand. Maintenance alone costs $3.4 million per aircraft per month. A single oil change requires $10,000 worth of specialized synthetic lubricants. But the real cost driver? Each B-2 requires 119 hours of maintenance for every hour of flight time. By comparison, an F-16 fighter jet requires 17 hours. Do the math. If a B-2 flies a 10-hour mission, maintenance crews spend over 1,000 hours, more than 6 straight weeks, preparing it for the next flight. And here's the kicker. The U.S. Air Force can only base the B-2 fleet at a single location, Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. The climate-controlled hangars required to maintain the radar-absorbent coating don't exist anywhere else. 21 of the most advanced aircraft ever built, all parked in one location, each costing more than $1 billion. Open loop, which brings us to the most controversial decision in modern Air Force history. Flying a computer, not an aircraft. Here's something most people don't know. The B-2 Spirit is aerodynamically unstable. Without computer assistance, it would crash within seconds. The flying wing design, which makes the B-2 invisible to radar, also makes it naturally uncontrollable. There's no vertical stabilizer, no traditional rudder, just a smooth, flat surface that physics says shouldn't be able to fly. So how does it stay airborne? The B-2 uses a quadruplex computer-controlled fly-by-wire system. Translation: 4 redundant computers make thousands of micro-adjustments per second to keep the aircraft stable. The pilot doesn't actually control the plane. They tell the computers where they want to go, and the computers figure out how to get there. The control surfaces along the wing's trailing edge, called elevons, constantly adjust position to maintain stability. During landing, these surfaces droop downward to prevent the aircraft from scraping the runway. Even more impressive, the B-2 uses pitot-static sensing plates instead of traditional airspeed tubes. Why? Because external probes would create radar reflections. So engineers invented a completely new way to measure airspeed that wouldn't compromise stealth. And the directional control? Instead of a traditional rudder, the B-2 uses split brake rudders and differential thrust, varying power between the 4 engines to turn the aircraft. Every system is designed around one priority: remaining invisible. The pilots don't just fly this aircraft. They manage an incredibly complex system that makes the impossible look routine. Tension builder. But even this technological marvel has a weakness. Vulnerability. In plain sight. Remember that specialized radar-absorbent coating I mentioned? It's also the B-2's greatest weakness. Every rainstorm damages it. Every temperature change degrades it. Every combat mission requires dozens of technicians spending hundreds of hours reapplying it by hand. The B-2 literally cannot survive without constant maintenance. Unlike conventional aircraft that can operate from austere forward bases, the B-2 requires climate-controlled hangars and specialized equipment. If maintenance crews can't access these facilities, the aircraft becomes operationally useless. Here's the strategic problem. In a major conflict against a near-peer adversary like China or Russia, Whiteman Air Force Base becomes target number 1. One successful strike on those specialized hangars, and America loses its entire strategic stealth bomber fleet. 21 aircraft, 1 base, no alternatives. Military planners call this a single point of failure. And in modern warfare, single points of failure are unacceptable. Pivot, which is exactly why the Pentagon made a decision that shocked the defense industry. Why they're retiring perfection. In 2019, the U.S. Air Force announced plans to retire the B-2 Spirit fleet by 2032. Originally projected to serve until 2058, the aircraft is being decommissioned 30 years early. The replacement? The Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider. Same flying wing design, same stealth principles, but with 3 critical improvements. First, the B-21 uses modern materials that don't require the constant maintenance nightmare of the B-2's coating. Second, it's designed for distributed operations. It can operate from multiple bases without specialized facilities. Third, it costs half as much, approximately $550 million per aircraft. The Pentagon plans to build at least 100 B-21 Raiders. That's nearly 5 times the B-2 fleet. Here's what this means. The B-2 Spirit proved that stealth bombing works. Its perfect combat record demonstrated the concept beyond any doubt. But its operational limitations, the maintenance requirements, the single base dependency, the astronomical costs made it unsustainable for modern warfare. The B-21 Raider takes everything the B-2 does right and fixes everything it does wrong. Final tension. But there's one capability the B-2 has that may never be replicated. The legacy of invisibility. The B-2 Spirit changed warfare forever. It proved that stealth technology could render even the most advanced air defenses obsolete. It demonstrated that precision strikes could be conducted anywhere on Earth without warning. And it showed that technological superiority, not numerical advantage, determines modern military outcomes. In its 3 decades of operation, the B-2 has never been shot at, never been damaged by enemy action, and never failed to complete a mission. That's not just impressive. That's historically unprecedented. As the last B-2 Spirit prepares for retirement, it leaves behind a legacy that redefined what's possible in military aviation. The $2.2 billion price tag? A bargain for changing the nature of war itself. If you found this breakdown fascinating, you need to watch my next video, where I reveal the secret technology that makes the B-21 Raider even more advanced than the B-2, including capabilities so classified that the Pentagon won't even confirm they exist. Click the video appearing on your screen right now